Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the members of the squad and one of the most uh, significant stars of the Democratic Party, and certainly of the left wing of the Democratic Party, to the extent that there is one. She said that she plans to impeach members of the Supreme Court. Yesterday, of course, there was a historic ruling by the Supreme Court on presidential immunity that effectively gives the president, and in this case, it seems like they were really thinking about Donald Trump, uh, a level of criminal immunity that effectively says that if he is doing government business, if he is operating as commander in chief, if he is occupying his official capacity as president, that there's very little you can do to hold him criminally accountable. Most of us in the world who are thinking or who like democracy said that this is a gross encroachment on the spirit of the Constitution, that it undermines democracy, that it basically, as Ketanji Brown Jackson said in her dissenting opinion, makes the president like a king, and that's not what we want. So, in response, some of us protested, some of us wrote nasty letters, some of us talked on our podcasts. Well, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced plans to file articles of impeachment against the justices. If you look on X, at AOC posted her thoughts. She posted her comments. And when you look at them, you can see that she means business. She said the Supreme Court has become consumed by a corruption crisis beyond its control. Today's ruling represents an assault on American democracy. An assault on American democracy. It is up to Congress to defend our nation from this authoritarian capture. I intend on filing articles of impeachment upon our return. This is serious business from AOC. Now, she hasn't named who she wants to see removed, but it's worth noting that 3 of the 6 appointees to the Supreme Court are Trump appointees. You got Neil Gorsuch, you got Brett Kavanaugh, and you got Amy Coney Barrett. 2 of them have ties to Donald Trump's Stop the Steal movement. Say, Clarence Thomas, who seems to always be tied up in some ridiculousness, and Samuel Alito. The argument for impeachment, it's not just about presidential immunity. It comes on the heels of several rulings in which the conservative majority just gutted key precedents. That includes the Dobbs decision. I don't think we can talk about the Dobbs decision enough. Roe v. Wade was endorsed by Trump's conservative justices as the law of the land during their confirmation hearings. They said that they respected the law of the land. So what does it mean? I wish I had a complicated answer for you, but I don't. It means they lied. What are the chances any of them are really going to be impeached, right? Like, AOC is going to do this. She's going to move forward with this. And it seems unlikely that they'll be impeached. Certainly not this term, given the political makeup of the Senate. You would need Democrats to take back the House. You would need Democrats to hold the Senate. And you would have to hope that Donald Trump loses in November. I don't see Trump losing in November right now. I don't see Democrats holding on to the Senate necessarily. They could. And I certainly don't see them taking back the House. So the question then becomes, is this all a waste of time? Is this just a publicity stunt? Is this just AOC getting attention for herself? I don't think so. I think that this matters. I think that for every action, there has to be a reaction from us. And the reaction can't just be podcasts and blogs and tweets. It can't even just be protest marches. We need to operate within the system that they're using to dismantle our rights and dismantle our liberation struggles, to dismantle our advances. We got to push back in those same systems. Don't yield that ground to them. That doesn't mean that we're going to impeach our way to justice or liberation. It doesn't mean that we're just going to, manufacture legislation that's going to get us free. That's not true. We're not. But it absolutely is a tactic that can help us get further than where we are right now. So shout out to AOC for doing that. I'm glad Democrats are finally pushing back a little bit. The problem is, there has to be a longer term plan than this. Yesterday, Elie Mystal was on the show and he was talking about court packing to maybe turn the tide. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think stuffing the court and expanding the court is going to actually make things better. But I do think that we at the very least need a tactic, but that's connected to an overarching strategy. And until we frame and articulate that strategy, we're going to continue to be prisoner to Project 2025. We're going to be prisoner to the whims and wishes of a right-wing court. We got to do something. So again, AOC doing this to me is important, but we need her colleagues to have her back. We need her colleagues to stand up and do something different as well.